Hi, boys and girls. This is going to be our second part of our lesson today. And we're going to try to remember what we were studying before our big break. We were talking about where plants and animals live. And what we call the area where plants and animals live is called a habitat. Say that with me. Habitat. Now, see if you can remember the habitat from where these animals lived. Okay? This is a plant. What is this? Those are mushrooms. Bears. Skunks. Fox. More mushrooms. What is that? Snake. Ants. Deer. Oh, cute little mouse. Now, you can remember where those animals lived. What was the habitat that those animals lived in? Did you say woods? Did you say the forest? Woodland. That's the habitat that they lived in. The woodlands, which is the forests or the woods. Now we're going to learn about a new one today. It's the pond habitat. And a pond is a habitat. There's a shallow water that has land all around the sides. There are plants and animals that live in and around the pond. Some live in the pond water. Some animals live on the edge of the pond water. Now, when my kids were little, we used to pass a pond. And we used to drive by and I'd say, what do you think lives in that pond? And some of their answers were like, maybe snakes. Maybe snakes. Maybe fish. Fish. Can you guys think of some? My kids would say an alligator. Maybe an alligator in Florida, but not in Colorado. What are some other plants? Maybe a lily pad. Oh, that's an idea. Why don't we do this? Why don't we read about the pond habitat? Okay, and as we're reading, listen to see what other plants and animals live in the pond habitat so we can make a list. Later, we'll put it on a piece of paper. Listen and look carefully to see whether you can remember some of the new ponds, animals, and plants that we talked about. Okay, here's my picture. Isn't this beautiful? This is a picture of a pond. Look all around. Can you see the calm, still water? Do you see the swimming ducks? Can you see the long green grasses growing around the edge of the water? Can you see the pond habitat? But you can't see me. I'm tucked inside my shell. But I would love to pop out and meet you. Do you see the calm, still water and the ducks? Now, what do you think might be tucked inside of its shell? What animal do you think that could be? Did you guess? Do you think it's a turtle? I think it's a turtle too. Let's keep reading. Hello there. My name is Tobias Turtle. I live near the pond. Welcome to my habitat. Today I'm going to explain the many plants and animals that live and around the pond with me. Splash! What was that? Must have been a fish jumping out of the water trying to catch a mosquito to eat. Bzzz. I think I hear a dragonfly flying by me. I'm going to tuck my legs and my head inside my shell and wait quietly to see what else I can see. Oh my, what do you see on this page? Say it out loud. What's this? What do you think this is? What about here? Say those words. I have been still so that many of my animal friends have come out of their hiding places. I can see an animal that has a mask of dark fur around its eyes and stripes on its tail. What is it? It's a raccoon that has come to the pond to search for food. In the middle of the pond, there are a mother and father duck teaching their ducklings to swim. Now I'm going to stretch my legs back out of my shell and crawl slowly towards the guys know what he is? Look at his tail. He builds a house with sticks in the middle of a pond. Does anybody know? Say it if you do. It's a beaver. I can see the furry beaver swimming through the pond, cutting and chopping logs to build itself a home. It uses its strong front teeth to chew on the trunk of a tree until it falls to the ground. Then the beaver builds its home out of the logs it is dragged into the water. Do you see this tree? Look, see how interesting it looks right here? That's where the beaver almost looks like an axe or somebody did that, but that was made by his teeth. Isn't that amazing? Look at this. It's all done by the teeth of a beaver. They must be very strong, don't you think? Here is, what is this? What is this animal? It's a raccoon. There is a masked raccoon crouching in the grasses by the pond's edge. The raccoon takes a long drink of water, and then it stays very still and waits for a fish to swim by. Maybe if it waits patiently, it will catch a fish with its sharp front claws. Something interesting about a raccoon's hands, it actually has 5 little digits. A digit is kind of like our fingers. So look up a picture of a raccoon's paw print. It's very interesting. Also something else. Let's think about this, boys and girls. Remember, what are the 3 things that animals, including human beings, need to survive? Can you remember? I'm going to give you a chance. Food, water, and shelter. Good job, my friends. All right. On the other side of the pond, in the reeds, this is a great blue heron. And it has been waiting patiently. It has stood still for so long that it caught a fish in its beak. Look how beautiful the blue heron is. It's beautiful. If I look closely at these furry brown, these are called cattails. I guess they kind of look like a cat's tail. Gently swaying in the breeze, I can see insects flying from plant to plant. They are looking for tasty nectar on which to feed. Ribbit, ribbit. I hear a frog croaking nearby. It sits on its flat green lily pad, hoping a tasty fly will buzz by. I love to look closely at the various insects that make their home in the pond habitat. Dragonflies are expert flyers that have 4 wings so they can fly straight up or straight down, just like a helicopter. The water strider also has a very special talent. This is the water strider. It can walk on top of the pond's surface. I see a monarch butterfly drinking the delicious nectar of the goldenrod flower. I wonder where that frog went. It sure loves to eat, to look for insects too. There's the frog. It was hiding. I can just barely see its eyes peeping up above the water because its green skin blends in so well with the lily pads. Do you can remember what we called animals that changed colors so that they could hide in their habitat? Who can remember? Camouflage. Animals will camouflage themselves to be able to protect themselves from other animals that might want to eat them. I think it must have gotten hot, so it jumped onto the lily pad to go for a swim in the shallow pond water. I wonder what I will see when I dive under the water. Now, shallow means really, really deep or really, really not deep. What do you think shallow means? Shallow means not very deep. Wow! The long, tall stems of the water lily, look how cool that is, goes under the water. See that? See that this is the top of the water? And there's the turtle swimming, and there's the frog with his legs under the water, the fish. Look at the long stem of the water lily. I bet its roots grow down into the muddy ground of the bottom of the pond. The cattail's stems grow underwater too. One of the turtles has slid off the warm rock and started swimming underground in search of a snack. The water in the pond is so murky. Murky's another word that's kind of a strange word. Now look at the water in this. Murky. Is it clear? Or is it kind of not very clear? Water that you can't see very clearly in is called murky water. I can hardly see, it's so murky, but I see a fish swimming along, weaving between